All 30 teams in action on this final Sunday. 1 playoff spot and 10 playoff seedings to be settled. Welcome to NBA Tip-Off presented by Lily from Studio J here in Atlanta. Ernie Johnson with Shaq and Kenny and Chuck back from the Final Four, back for the end of the regular season and for a playoff run in the NBA.
All right, man. Shout out to all the people at CBS for a great 3 weeks. It was awesome. And but we're glad to be home.
Yes, we are.
You weren't saying that when we were up there. You were talking bad about these people. But
well, that's because they wasn't around.
Okay.
We always tell you talk bad behind people back. That doesn't
no, that's you. That's you. That's not us.
Okay. Hey, so what do we know going into this final Sunday?
Oh, this will be good.
Would you like
here.
to know what?
No, I know what you just asked, Shaq.
No,
it's too complicated.
Yeah,
you know, I know.
No, here's what we know in the Eastern Conference: 1 through 4. Locked in, okay? Can't move. 5 through 10 could all change after today's play. Meantime,
Hawks against the Cavaliers would be delicious.
Meantime, Western Conference. So Thunder and Spurs have the top 2 spots. Rockets and Timberwolves have 5 and 6. We know the Suns will be 7, hosting a play-in game, and the Warriors will be on the road in a play-in game out of the number 10 spot. So, the NBA,
kind of fast.
The NBA sent this out, and I love it. It's a work of art. It really is. 40 scenarios for the games today.
You know what I call that?
For the what?
Waste of time.
Ernie-lytics.
It is, man. I saw this on my printer at home, and I was like, "Oh,
because you got it memorized. I already know you got it memorized.
Unbelievable! It is tremendous."
Somebody had too much time on their hands.
No, that's
Ernie-lytics.
the league. No, the league trying to help us out, saying, "Look, here are all the scenarios for if a team loses and a team wins." And
I got 4 degrees. I have no idea what I'm looking at.
No, this is.
No, Ernie got it. It was donuts.
I got it.
Everything that. This is great.
Called the neighbors, told them to come over and take a look at it.
Had a barbecue.
Ernie-lytics.
So let's move on. Look, I could take a few hours and read all of this to you, all the what ifs, but a much better way to put this day into perspective is by hearing the rat-a-tat-tat delivery of our old school correspondent. Here is Scoop D'Agostino.
Mr. and Mrs. North and South America and all the ships at sea, let's go to press. Jump in, Judy. My head is spinning. All the playoff scenarios. How to make sense of all the mumbo-jumbo? Well, our crack investigators have been on the case to bring you all the combinations and permutations to get set for next week's playoffs. Out east, here's what we know so far. The top 4 seeds have all been decided, with Detroit, once again the bad boys, on top, followed in order by Boston, New York, and Cleveland. The Hawks, thanks to 20 wins in their last 25 contests, can clinch the 5 seed with a win over Miami or a Toronto loss to Brooklyn. Atlanta can be no worse than 6th in the East. Go ahead, Shaq. Get it out of your system. Feel better now? Now here's where it gets dicey. Toronto can finish as high as 5th or as low as 8th. Top of the Nets guarantees the Raptors are no worse than 6th. Orlando and Philly can get to 6 with some help, but worst-case scenario is 8th and a head-to-head matchup for the 7th seed in the play-in. The back half of the East play-in is comprised of Charlotte and Miami. The Hornets have a leg up on preserving home court advantage in the 9-10 game, needing a win over the Knickerbockers or a Miami loss to Atlanta to avoid heading to South Beach to fight for their playoff lives. Still with me, gentlemen? Good. Now, here's the West Side story. OKC and San Antonio are locked into the 1 and 2 seeds respectively, and Houston and Minnesota own the 5 and 6 seeds, avoiding the play-in. The Nuggets and Lakers will wrestle for the 3 seed, with injury-plagued LA needing a win over Utah and a Denver loss to San Antonio to leapfrog the Nuggets for 3rd. Also locked in, Phoenix to the 7 seed and GSW to the 10th spot. Still to be decided, Portland's magic number is 1 to preserve the 8th spot. But the LA Clippers, who after starting 6 and 21 have gone 35 and 19 since, need a Portland loss and their own win against Golden State to take on Phoenix in the 7-8 matchup. All other teams have been eliminated and wait for ping pong balls to bounce their way come May. But the only matchup we know for sure is that the Hornets play the Heat in the East 9-10 game, leaving a lot at stake on the final day of the regular season. Someone say steak? I like steak. Just like Chuck. Even if he needs to cut it all up before he takes a single bite. As always, we're giving you the scoops on oops and eating rituals right here on This Week in the NBA.
The inimitable Scoop D'Agostino.
I don't know what that means. If that means idiot. That's
Never imitated.
I think he knows a lot about you. He knew how you cut your steak.
Yeah, he's
Ernie
also
had
the
an
producer
argument.
of the.
I think you should cut one piece of steak at a time.
You should.
Yeah.
That's
like
how
a
you-
man.
No, you don't. You cut your whole steak up.
No, children
Dennis
do
did
that.
it.
No, you do. You
Children
cut it
do
all
that.
up, let it get cool, and then eat it. That's a great idea.
It ain't. Why you act like the steak gonna be there like an hour?
Well, yeah, with you.
I mean, you're the same guy who told me there's a difference in toilet paper.
Yeah, there is.
No, that's not a difference in
It
toilet
is.
paper.
2-ply,
Sherman,
1-ply.
baby.
Hey, nope.
Sherman.
There's no difference between 1-ply and 2-ply. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Just have to ball up a little bit more.
Anyway, as I was saying, so if Orlando beats Boston, and Atlanta beats Miami, and Charlotte beats New York, and Milwaukee beats Philly,
Man, we're gonna be
and
here
Brooklyn
in a minute.
beats Toronto, Atlanta will be the 5 seed, Orlando will be the 6 seed, Toronto the 7th,
we just
Philly
wait till
the
it
8th,
happens?
Charlotte the 9th, and Miami the 10th.
We just wait till it happens.
Now,
Well, this is-
if
this
Orlando
show's an
wins and
hour.
Atlanta wins, no, I love this thing. That's the greatest. Thank you, Mark Broussard at the NBA. It's great
Is
stuff.
he related to Chris Broussard?
No, he's not.
Okay.
But thank you for asking. So, look, Orlando's got something to play for here, but they also need some help as they play in Boston today.
I think right now is if you're in these scenarios, the one thing that you're doing is you want to have possibly some momentum. So you're playing for momentum. Then the excuse is if you lose, well, it doesn't really matter. We don't need this. So I'm not sure if you're on the teams that are playing for position to like 7-8. So you only get one play-in game. That's huge.
Yeah.
Those things
Well,
are huge.
getting into the playoffs themselves, this is what the Magic are trying to avoid the play-in.
So this is what I would do if I'm not like, hey guys,
If you're who?
anybody,
Okay.
let's just win our game
and see what happens.
and see what happens. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, if we lose and then this other team wins or they lose, we get like, no. The right thing to do, let's just win our game and we'll worry about all this stuff around midnight tonight.
And I've been here 12 years, probably the second time I agree, Chuck. You just have to take care of your business today and not worry about us. Because if you took care of business, you wouldn't have been in this position. But you still have one chance to take care of business. So we take care of business and don't worry about what everybody else is
You
doing.
only been right twice in 12 years?
No, you only been right twice.
Okay.
Yeah, you.
Nice try.
Yeah, you.
Orlando does have your boy, Franz Wagner.
The
back in
Wagner
there.
boys are back.
They're 4-1 since he's been back from missed a bunch of time with the ankle.
Guaranteed win for Orlando today. The Wagner boys
Well,
are back.
I would almost guarantee that too, seeing who's not going to play for Boston. Like
You know,
everybody.
Ernie, I've been paying attention, and we talked about tanking on the podcast today. I think I saw a stat: 170 players didn't play Friday. To me, as much as I love Adam Silver, we've got to do something, man. We can't have 170 starters basically not play in games. That like, yeah,
Okay,
we
but
just
question. What if we got our fate sealed and we just want to get proper rest going to the playoffs? Is that
170
okay?
players do not have 170.
No, you're right.
Like,
I'm just
listen,
saying.
It'd be hard to have 170 starters sitting since there are 150 in the league.
Yeah. Well,
That's
do it
an Auburn
again.
education.
I'll hit a
Ernie.
man with glasses right
That's an
between
Auburn
them.
education,
Yes, sir.
America.
But seriously though,
30,
if you're gonna risk Jaylen Brown,
pretty
You
simple.
better
math.
check out where you're getting your
You
information.
don't need Wembyama for this one. Like,
Go ahead and make your point.
Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, okay, we got nothing to play for. Let's rest these two guys.
Yes.
Come on, man. You rest Wemby, maybe. You rest Joker and Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon.
Getting up to
Joker's
170.
You rest LeBron because he's 102 years old. But all these dudes just sitting out. That's just disrespectful, man.
Well, I think the sitting out 2 weeks ago. You know, this is the last day of the season.
Yeah,
so
last thing you want to do on this
last day is
say,
have somebody
okay,
have an ACL.
But
tear.
listen, come on, man. Most
It
of these
doesn't
guys,
matter.
most
No.
of these guys are Jags anyway.
No, but if you're the New Orleans Pelicans, let's say, you don't want Zion to play the last game. We can understand.
Why? He rested up the last 3 years.
No. You can't risk that.
Are you serious?
He's been hurt.
No,
Come on,
He's
come
been
on,
hurt
Kenny.
prior.
Kenny, you're just
Kenny.
being
You can't
ridiculous.
risk.
now.
You're not going to make the playoffs.
Kenny.
2 weeks ago, differently.
So he's not getting a check?
But I think that
You're not getting a check.
There's a way to.
If you're in the playoffs and your guys,
there's
need
a way to
rest,
circumvent that.
Yeah, come on.
If you're in the playoffs and
you're in the playoffs and your guys need to
down.
rest to get prepared for
Come on, man.
But here's one that'll really get under your skin, Chuckster. So Brooklyn's playing Toronto today, in Toronto. And Toronto needs that win.
Yes.
Because they could be number 5 still, but they can knock down the 6th spot for sure. And sing everybody.
See,
Brooklyn is.
Ernie, that's
you should
just
see the injury report
man.
on the Brooklyn. It's unbelievable.
Come on, man. That's disrespectful, kid. And would you agree with that?
Well, you could circumvent it in a couple of ways.
Okay, well, give me just one because I don't want to hear your other BS on the second one.
Okay, well.
Or the third one.
Well, you could circumvent it by not giving people more lottery balls.
You mean what I've been saying the whole time?
You can't. You can do that. You can make it a cap at a certain point.
No, just one ball.
Meaning like if you didn't make the playoffs,
that's it.
You just didn't make the playoffs.
That's what
you might be in
I've
the
been
Western
saying
Conference
this.
Playing against the Thunder and the Spurs and the Nuggets, who are better teams possibly.
Shaq, let me just make this one point. I've been saying this for years. Now teams just been they've been tanking for like 3 months. Every team that does not make the playoffs should get one ball. You can't improve your chances losing. Every team gets one ball. That would be the fair way to do it. Because we got
teams. Where else in the world deficiency you get a reward?
Nowhere else. Nowhere else.
I'm trying to think. You get a reward for deficiency.
Only with our stupid NBA crap.
That's it.
There you go.
Come on, man. Stop doing that, man. Just give everybody one ball. That would stop tanking.
Orlando needs a win at Boston tonight. They need Toronto to lose to the Brooklyn Nets in order to move from the play-in to the playoffs.
I don't think it's the Brooklyn Nets. It's more like the Queens Nets.
Queens big the money, man. That ain't Queens.
See, there you go trying to rap again.
Look at Jimmy Butler taking a look at the sheet. The sheet is unbelievable. Yep. Oh, by the way, so if Boston wins,
oh my God,
and Atlanta wins, Charlotte wins, Milwaukee and Brooklyn win.
Go to commercial, please.
Atlanta will be 5. Toronto will be. If a simple scenario chart is Erniealytics, then what on earth is Chuck reporting 170 starters in a 150 starter league called?
Rich,
Mr. Sideline.
You can say stupid stuff when you're rich.
It's called Chuckalytics.
Tell him, Chuck.
Tell him. What they call me at the bank, Chuck?
Mr. Barkley.
They better not be sitting down when I walk in.
Credit one bank.
If you sit down, I'm moving my money.
Hey,
the bank going to tilt.
See what the Joker's going to do this year.
That's
never been done. First guy to lead the league in rebounds per game and assists per game.
That's amazing, man.
In the same season. Nuggets taking on the San Antonio Spurs in San Antonio later tonight. Denver wins that game. They're number 3. If they lose and the Lakers win, then they flip. The Lakers would be 3 and the Nuggets would be 4.
I have one more addition.
Oh, my God. Here you go again.
One more addition. How about we pay bonuses for a position? Meaning, if you're the 1 seed.
Oh, my God.
If you're the 1 seed, each player gets this one.
We're not talking about
the 2. Wait, let me finish.
Let me talk about the bottom barrels.
Let me finish. So now, if I'm the 12th seed, there's a bonus for my players. So now I'm playing. The players would say, no, we're not tanking. We're not sitting out because we get a bonus for being 10, 11. Wherever you finish, you get a bonus. So top guys for this.
Can I retort this?
And it has been said, players don't tank. Organizations
tank. And then players would be like, no, I'm not sitting out.
You know anything about moving? Can I have a retort?
Okay, tell me why. If I know I could get another $100,000 by being the 10th seed as a player, why wouldn't I do it?
Well, because you're already making $25 million.
No, you can take that into collective bargaining.
Yeah. But first of all, you're already making $25 million and you suck. I'm not giving you another $100,000.
No, this is part of the collective bargaining.
I understand that. You're already making 25. Guys are already making $30, $40 million. You want me to pay you a bonus?
When you win the championship, you get a bonus, don't you?
Yeah, that's called a championship, fool.
So that's my point. So winning the regular season, you should get a bonus.
We're talking about the bottom teams.
It should be a bonus.
Every player should get 3 to 5 games off for rest. 3 to 5 games off rest. If you're hurt, the world needs to know what your injury is.
No, they do.
That's how you fix it.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
They do that.
No, they don't.
They make it up.
Don't make it up. No.
But can I ask you this question? Yes. Can I ask you this question? Even if you played guys who maybe aren't starters, and we're the 11th seed, and we don't have a chance to win the
You
playoff,
need
but
to
we
be
get moved
playing.
to 10 in the last 2
Oh, my
games,
God.
you don't think they would play hard?
Come on, man.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about the.
I just want to see hard. I don't want someone not playing hard.
We're talking about the bumbling Nets. The bumbling Nets. In the 13th speed, talking about resting everybody.
Can
No,
I ask you this
gotta play.
question then,
Yes.
Shaq? If you were the 13th seed, you're on the Brooklyn Nets, and you have 50 losses, and the 11th seed
gotta
has
play.
49. Wait,
You have
and
to
they
play.
told me if we get another $100,000 according to the collective bargaining agreement
I'm
for the
with Chuck.
position, I'm not playing. I'll be like, I'm playing today. I'm going to go get my extra
You're giving
$100,000.
somebody $100,000 to finish 13th?
Because you can break it up
Oh,
in a
my
collective
God.
bargaining agreement easily.
And let me
There's
tell you
so much
How about
money in-
this? If you're one of those bottom 5 in each conference, you got to give money back.
That's
I
right,
agree with
Ernie.
that.
That's right.
Yeah, how about
you know,
that?
Ernie, and I've said this for years, not just now. Not just basketball, football, baseball, any sport. I'm a firm believer. If you finish below 500, you should not be able to raise your ticket prices.
Well, that's another thing.
Seriously,
I agree.
100%.
I
If
agree.
you suck, you should not be able to raise your ticket prices.
So you can
What
pay
if,
these
what if,
bums.
what if I? No, that's not a good.
Why is that not a
is.
good
It
thing?
is.
Because what if I trade for LeBron James in the offseason?
Well, you should be better. You should be above 500.
What if Wemby was hurt last year?
That's
And he's
unfortunate.
back?
But
Oh, well, no,
yeah,
no.
come on. That's just unfortunate if he get hurt. And I don't know about
Supply
the
and demand.
Back to Denver, San Antonio.
This is an interesting question, Ernie.
In your own estimation, it is. We'll be the judge. What is it? What is the question?
Well, it's a big difference between do you want to play the Spurs in the second round or you want to play the Thunder?
Well, I mean,
That's a big deal.
right. But here's the
I'd
deal.
rather play the Spurs than the Thunder.
But here's the deal with the Nuggets. They win tonight. They're number 3. Okay?
Yes, they play
But
the Spurs
Lakers-
in the second round.
I know. But they're not playing anybody. Joker's the only guy who might play.
I don't.
They're
That's,
not, they're
that's
sitting
what's
Jamal
weird.
Murray. They're
Ooh.
sitting Aaron Gordon. They're sitting everybody.
They must want the. They must.
I don't
They
think
must
that's
want
smart.
OKC.
See, I don't think that's smart.
You don't think it's smart? What?
No, because the Joker has his way with Rudy. So I need all my guys in the night. We want to get this first round. We want to go through them. And it don't matter who we have to play in the second round. If we have to play the champs in the second round, we got to beat them anyway. Let's get them out of the way. But today is the day where you're supposed to take care of business so you can be comfortable at home. Third or fourth, I want that number 3 seed. I want to play Minnesota in the first round.
They want, well, but apparently, whether they're 3 or 4 doesn't matter. They're sitting everybody.
I wouldn't have said everybody tonight.
Jeez.
But I think
it's mystifying to me.
Three seed.
because that to me
You
is
want to play
interesting.
Minnesota or Rockets in the first
Well,
round?
I don't think. I think the Nuggets beat either one of them. I'm looking past the second round when you have to choose between playing the Spurs or OKC.
Yeah, but
I don't
Well,
think-
neither one of those easy. But
I think
obviously the OKC comes in with the champ. But Denver 3-1 against both Minnesota and Houston, whoever they would meet in the first round.
I've been blessed to be on teams that had championship runs. We've never sat in the locker room and said, we're going to try to avoid this team in the second round. I don't know if y'all have,
No.
but we've never done
Nobody
that.
said that. I'm
So
talking
that's
about-
what I mean. So
but we've
as a
never
team,
been- but we've
you're
never
not
been-
looking at it and going, oh, who do we have in the second round? You're like, you got home court advantage or not. And that's it. And I don't
got
think
these
you're looking
guys in the
further than
first
that.
round.
Well, so I'm just saying this. If I'm looking, okay, we got to win this game. I'm not even worried about the first round. Denver's their championship contender. Whoever they play in that other stuff, they're like gonna be. But you're gonna have to say, I'd rather. This is just my opinion.
Have you done that before?
I know, but I'm telling
As
you,
a
I've never
team?
been in this exact situation.
Oh, okay.
I'd rather play instead of playing the defending champs. If I had a chance to play against, and listen, we love the Spurs. They've never been in any fire. They've never been in any fire before. We love Wemby. He might win the champ. He might win the MVP. But other than De'Aaron Fox, maybe Harrison Barnes, if I remember correctly. But the rest of those young guys, it's going to be interesting how they react in the playoffs. That's all I'm saying.
Can you figure why Denver would sit their guys?
Injury. That would be the only thought. They're not
Everybody's
looking-
injured?
No, they're like,
they want to avoid
they
it.
want to avoid injury. Again,
And Joker needs
I
one
don't-
more game.
yeah, I don't
qualify for the
know.
NBA awards. He
I
needs
don't
to.
know of any team that I've been on in those runs that when we really had a realistic chance of going deep, that we sat and said that.
Well,
I
the
just,
only
that's
person,
why.
only person y'all had to worry about was Hakeem.
What are you talking
like,
about?
we weren't, like, nobody was worried. Like, now, if y'all sit Hakeem, now that'll be a different animal.
What are you talking about?
What I just said.
You don't think Sam Cassell, myself, Mario Early, Robert Horry made a difference in the NBA championship?
No, y'all made a difference.
You don't think when I broke the NBA record against the Orlando Magic to make them play in one-on-one, that made a difference?
What
are you talking about? That doesn't even make sense.
Thanks, Brian Hill, for making us double the
What are you talking about?
I know exactly right.
They stopped doubling. Double after that, it was too late. I know it makes sense.
Denver and San Antonio, game 2 of our final night of the season doubleheader. Kenny's proposal for the lower seed sounds like Oprah giving cars.
We're giving away cars to bombs now, y'all.
Okay.
Lower seed, giving a guy $100,000.
Y'all just keep letting them sit out there.
Fiery
Sam Jackson, I love you, brother.
Greatness.
We're going to give bombs $100,000 to finish in the 11th spot.
Well, you're giving some of them $25 million.
million.
You're giving them $25 million.
Hey, you want
A 36-year run at ESPN ends with this telecast tonight for Mark Jones. Mark joins us, and I think a standing ovation would be appropriate at this point.
Stand up, Richard.
Thanks, guys.
Jonesy, tell me what you're feeling right now, man.
Well, Ernie, I have a very full and a very heavy heart today as I say goodbye to the only place that I've really worked in network television, and I'm just thankful for all the friends that I've made along the journey. You know, they talk about it being not about the destination, but the journey, and my journey's been outstanding. You know, I had a chance to be around some fantastic people. I started my career off working with, Brent Musburger and Jim Valvano in one of my very first assignments, and working with, Dick Vermeil and Musburger on college football, and had a chance to do NBA finals and just be around some wonderful people as part of my NBA family. So as I say goodbye today, I'm going to have fun. I'm doing it with my partner Doris Burke, and I couldn't think of a better way to go out.
Mark, I can remember, especially listening to cool guys like Ernie and Dick Vitale, but when I came into the NBA, you and Stewart were the only guys that were adding hip-hop to when you was talking about basketball. When did you decide to start doing that?
You know what? It was pretty much from the start, Shaq. I always talk about in some of the kids that I mentor in the business that are trying to get into the business, being your authentic self, and that's always been a big part of my culture and the things that I listen to and where I am in this world. And I figure if you're going to be your best self, then you got to let it fly the same way you would let it fly as if you were watching TV at home, watching a game and saying some of the things, talking to the TV the same way I do as when I broadcast. So it wasn't so much a conscious decision, Shaq. It was just being my best version of my best self, I think.
Well, Mark, we've been friends for a long time, man. I just want to say congratulations on an amazing career. But take me back when you were younger. Who were some of the first people, especially people of color, that you saw on television that inspired you and made you want to do this?
Yeah, there's an interesting story, Charles. When I was working in Toronto originally, where I was born, I went down to the baseball stadium. I was hosting the Toronto Blue Jays magazine show, and I met Bryant Gumbel for the first time. He was a guy that I really idolized. And I went up to Bryant Gumbel and said, Mr. Gumbel, I'd like to call big games on national network television in the United States like yourself. And he turned around and blew me away when he said, young man, I watched your sportscast last night on television on TSN. I think you're ready now. And that had an incredibly indelible impact on me and my outlook going forward. And he would have to be the one guy that I really point at. And of course, getting to work with Brent Musburger early. I watched James Brown. Fred Hickman was another guy on CNN that I always enjoyed watching on television as well. So when you consider some of those names and some of those faces, especially the people of color, it really resonated with me.
Mark, congratulations on a great career. And I have one question. You've had so many great games and so many great telecasts. So what would be the most memorable game that you have ever had, besides maybe tonight?
I would think it would be Steph Curry's 54-point game in Madison Square Garden back when he was becoming Steph Curry. And interestingly enough, Kenny, that's the first time I spit out, oh, he's hotter than fish grease. And it just came to me in the moment because he was so incredibly spellbinding that night. And, you know, it was that one. It was the infamous LeBronto game in 2018, Game 2 in Toronto. And LeBron had, I think it was 18 points in the second quarter. Those were two of the more memorable ones. And, of course, the NBA Finals that I had an honor to call back in 2022, Game 1 with the Warriors against the Celtics. Those are just three of many that I would have to rank that way.
Jonesy, last thing from me. Look, when I'm watching games in my home office and I'm working on stuff, when you're calling a game, I always have dictionary.com, that window open, because I know you're good for 3 or 4 absolute beauties as the night wears on. Put you on the spot. Is there a word that comes to mind that is going to describe what you're feeling right now and what this game will mean to you?
I would have to say just indelible. This one will be one that is emblazoned. I would go with one of those two, emblazoned in my memory forever, because it'll be the last time that I get to work for the worldwide leader, and a place that gave me an opportunity back in 1990 as an intrepid young sportscaster coming from Toronto, to believe in me, to give me a chance. And, you know, Ernie, with the words, that's a tribute to my late father, Hugh Jones, who lived to be 93. He was fluent in Latin and Spanish, and he made my older brother Paul and I sit down at the dinner table a lot of nights and read the dictionary to him and go through vocabulary. So it's a part of him that I take to the microphone.
Hey,
Mark, last question. One, I love you. And two, when you used to roll up the piece of paper and shoot it at the wastebasket, was it higher than my free throw percentage? Did you make more than you missed?
This much.
Because I always used to wonder, is he making that shot? Congratulations, brother. We love you.
Yeah.
Mark Jones.
Thank you. Love you guys, too.
Enjoy every second tonight, man. Hope it goes double.
And thanks for having me. Yeah, it's great to be on the same team with you guys for one last time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
The honor is ours, believe me.
We'll see you in my favorite city, Toronto, as soon as basketball is over. You know that.
If not, South Beach.
You got it, Chuck.
Nobody want to go to South Beach.
As we head to break, a shout out to we welcome you back. 25 years ago today, Larry David tripped Shaq sitting courtside.
You see that S. Curl Kenny?
I remember you had that.
Yeah, you see that S. Curl
Did you have the part?
Yeah.
Look at
and the late great Richard Lewis in there.
But look at this. This is worse than just Kazam.
No. Actually, Chuck, I believed you.
Okay, what?
I believed you.
Thank you.
I didn't believe that was the trainer.
Yeah.
Gary Vitti. What's up, Gary Vitti? There you go.
You had a trainer that heavy.
There's something wrong with fat trainer?
No, you can't be a trainer and train people to be in shape.
Doesn't look like that.
No, come on, man. Stop that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it was hard to believe. I didn't say it was impossible. It's
not a believable casting.
Believable.
Yeah. Trainers don't have to be in shape.
Yes, they do. How can you train and not be in shape?
Listen, I had a trainer named Al Domenico. The only thing he had in his bag was those little
but look at
donuts.
Look at his subject. There we go.
Hey, in his bag, all he had was those little miniatures and a horse racing sheet.
Listen.
One of my favorite people ever.
Love that.
No, he's a great actor, though, that guy.
Thank you. Shaq?
No, the guy.
Larry David's great.
No, not Larry David.
The trainer.
The trainer. I can't think of his
Shaq, can you hook us up with Larry David? I'd like to meet him.
I know Larry.
Done.
Oh, well.
I was talking to
right
Shaq.
now.
I know him well as well.
I was talking
Larry,
to 1 and 2. Stay
Larry, text me.
Hey, all of that being said, it's time for a brand new episode of Shaqtin' a Fool.
I'm so glad to be back here.
He's Shaqtin' a Fool.
What?
He's Shaqtin' a Fool.
What?
He's Shaqtin' a Fool.
What?
Chuck had a fat trainer.
We know.
The horse racing sheet.
That's right.
Number 4, Caris LeVert.
Caris LeVert.
Whatever. Needs to get his court vision checked.
Why
C-A-R-S is Caris.
Car is.
No, that's.
Yep. Carvana, Caris. Lakers in 5.
In fairness, the ref had on a dark jersey.
That's not fair.
Oh, that's not
Get out of here. He's like 5'11". The ref.
The Pistons, man, I can't
Number
wait to
3,
see them in the playoffs.
Mika Porter and Kobe Brown
Micah Parker.
got entangled
Micah
by
Parker.
Spider Mitchell and crossover. MICH is Mika. My name is Mika.
Hey.
Oh, the double cross. Oh,
Oh, my.
Why is he guarding a little guy anyway?
Switched out.
No, this is the
oh, got him. Oh,
He caught 2 people.
got him in that spider web. Number 2, Hornets fans. PSA to NBA fans everywhere. Shaq is always watching.
No.
Oh,
No. No.
Come on, man.
Oh, my goodness.
This dude is.
Oh,
Come on, man. That's why you're in the stands.
having good seats is not a ticket to do that.
Number 1, Alex Caruso.
Oh, my son.
He is a shoe-in for the Defensive Player of the Year. Ernie, get your son.
I like
Give me
that,
that.
Shaq. Shoe in.
He's
Man, that's a flagrant. You can't do that.
that's a technical.
I don't see an issue with that.
Automatic take it. Check.
That's a flagrant, Ernie. You can't do that.
What is that? Wow. Oh, and Alex Caruso, the winner.
Ernie.
I hate it when you ask me that with that look on your face.
Okay.
Of concern.
Now, we had to do some research, and we didn't do it, but I need to know.
If Boston wins.
No.
And
Remember, I said to you, the Washington Wizards, did you see that April Fool joke to that dude?
I did
Yeah.
not. I did not.
You
see
know
it.
the story behind it?
Well, they told him
Go
we
ahead.
won a game, and they
they told him
got
he won
happy.
$10,000.
They had a guy out there. They had a guy out there, blindfolded him, and said, "Take a shot."
Oh
from
yeah, I've
half
seen
court.
that before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen that
It was
before.
April Fool's Day. They said they gave the guy a check and everything,
no,
Kenny.
but
Yeah,
here's-
but I mean,
here's the deal.
they're not the first team to
No,
fake that.
but here's the deal. They said later, everybody involved was in on the joke. So the guy who took the shot was apparently in on the joke too.
No, he wasn't in on it.
No, that's what the Wizards
Well, let me say
said.
this anyway.
Yeah.
Let me just say this.
It's an April Fool's joke. Stop
I
being
understand
sensitive.
that.
Nope, stop it.
Well, no, I'm going to finish myself.
Go crazy.
I'm going to finish.
Yeah, come on.
Let me tell you something. The Wizards can't joke.
Why?
Because they the damn Wizards. No, listen. Certain people, there's degrees to this. OKC can joke. The Celtics can joke. The Washington Wizards cannot joke. And you know I'm right, Kenny.
If I come to the
Chuck,
game,
when you're a joke, you can't joke.
When you're a joke, you can't
Hey,
joke.
when you have the worst record in the
You
NBA,
gotta do something to keep
sometimes you need something to smile about,
entertain.
something to laugh about.
And Chuck,
Just didn't work out very well here.
and they're going to raise the ticket prices next
No,
year.
come on, man. Ernie, you know I'm right. Kenny, you think everybody can joke?
everybody
can
can't
joke.
joke, but they could joke on that.
Come on, stop it.
Thank you,
They
Dave
should have
Stein.
joked and made like the guy who
John
say they couldn't win a
Malkovich.
game.
Thank you.
He did win an award. He won a Razzie.
That was an Oscar there that you were holding.
NBA Tip-Off is presented by Lilly, a medicine company.
Oh, you're right, Francis and
Start for the
Glendale.
Wiz, yeah. Oh, Mr. Francis, Mr.
Come on, man.
Francis.
Y'all know I'm right.
So this MVP race, and again, familiar with the 65-game minimum to be eligible.
It's a two dogs race.
The other night, Wemby had some interesting thoughts on that 65-game thing.
Is there something that you wish people understood a little bit more about how much work goes into getting to 65?
So, Cade is ineligible for sure. How many games he played?
He was 63, 62. He was right there.
And he's still playing. He's playing right now, isn't he? So if he plays today and in 2 days, he's eligible? No?
It's gonna come out short. Luka's gonna be short.
Yeah, him and Luka. I mean, and who else? Anthony Edwards is not gonna make it either. It's an interesting question. It's a very interesting question. If those three aren't I mean, especially Kate and Luka, if they aren't in the season awards, for sure it's not gonna reflect their impact on the season. But at the same time, in my opinion, it's good to have a threshold, a limit. Where do we need to put it? I don't know. It's a good question. Let me ask you a question. Like, what percentage of the season right now, without calculating how much 65 is, what percentage of the season do you think should be the limit?
75-80.
75-80, okay.
2/3.
2/3, okay. 70?
Academic, 70% passing.
70%? So, you don't think it should be a limit? Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. If a guy plays 50 games, 35 minutes a game, that's 50 times 35, that's 1750, right? Am I right? Yeah. And if a guy plays 75 games at 20 minutes, it's 1500. So, it's not. I mean, it's a good view, in my opinion, to not have a limit. It's one opinion. 75% of the games, in my opinion, would be a logical thing, and that would be 61.5 games, right? So 62 games.
By the way, your math on all of those was spot on. Calculating as you were doing it. You're doing some numbers like David Robinson. Of course, the alien gets it.
So there's some interesting questions, but I think obviously I don't think there's going to be an exception made for this year. I think it would be somewhat unfair, but we'll see how it turns out.
I need Wemby to make me one of these charts for his.
What we need to do is send all these badass American kids over to France to go to school. That's the first thing we need to do. All these dummies kids over here, we just sit there as the French.
You the one who was 170 starters.
Yeah.
Nobody else was doing that, but you were.
I don't have to worry about the numbers. Hey, listen, I've already made it. These other kids got to go to school. I ain't got to worry about nothing.
You got an issue with the 65-game thing?
No, I do not. It's the letter of the law, and whatever the NBA says, it should go. I've said for many years now, I don't know what the criteria of the MVP is. So if you're asking me who my MVP is, I'm going to say Victor Wembanyama or Jaylen Brown. And the reason is nobody expected them to do what they're doing now.
But is that what the award's about?
Yeah, most valuable player. Player is singular. It has nothing to do with team success and none of that. And I know we're going to have this argument. Most valuable player is singular. I'm the baddest guy in the league. Nobody can stop me. When the guy went down from Boston, nobody expected Jaylen Brown to do what he did. Nobody expected the system to be back for the San Antonio Spurs. So me, it's Victor Wembanyama and Jaylen Brown because
what has SGA done? What has SGA done to lose?
Hold on, nothing.
The honor he has already.
Nothing, but based on you guys' criteria, Boston is number 2 and Spurs is number 2. So he is the baddest guy in the league, and he's having team success, and nobody expects him to do what they did. So for me, it's Victor Wembanyama and Jaylen Brown. Shai Gilgeous is a bad boy. Joker is a bad boy. But you asking me my opinion, I'm telling you it's Victor or Jaylen Brown.
I think there should be
your criteria, my criteria.
No, I'm talking about this.
Get your hand off your face.
I'm just like, you got to let this Steve Nash thing go, man. That was 20 years ago. You got to let the Steve Nash thing go.
I'm just saying I don't know what the criteria for the MVP is.
Yeah, I think that there should be a threshold one to be eligible for awards. 65 is a relative number, and that happened because of all the low management that was going on. They were like, okay, well, you don't want to play. We're not going to let you be eligible for awards. So I think it should be probably a minute and or game. So if you played 24 minutes a game, I'm going to do a Wemby, 24 minutes times 82, that's 1,968 games?
Well,
okay. I mean, minutes?
So
we got way too much math going on.
No, I'm just saying, so like it should be one or the other. It should be, if you hit a minute and you don't hit the games because you're playing 40 minutes a game, that would be fine too. But the other thing I would add about, I would agree with Shaq. For me, the MVPs are Wembanyama or Jaylen Brown. Those two guys have taken not only their teams, but themselves to different levels.
The Spurs
so
won
their
34
impact
games last year.
So Ernie, that's what I'm saying. Their impact on winning has been bigger because they might not have had the same impact as Shea and them, having better talent.
Hey, I'm not
in the second spot.
They have better talent around.
I got no problem if somebody want to vote for Wemby or Jaylen or Cade, whatever.
Well, Cade doesn't qualify.
He doesn't qualify, but I'm just saying, I'm just saying that if you voted for him, Shea, in my opinion, I don't have a vote. What he's done, that team has the best record in the NBA.
By 2 games.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Best record.
His
2 games, don't matter.
How many games have his second best player missed?
He played a lot of that without Jalen Williams.
Jalen Williams has probably missed 40 games. Whoever you vote for, but I don't think 65 games is a lot to ask, man. Shut the hell up. Y'all voted on that in the collective bargaining, and now y'all want to complain. If y'all wasn't sitting on your ass half the time sipping margaritas and stuff, they wouldn't have put the 65 game threshold in there. Shut the hell up. Y'all killing me.
Say it with your chest, Chuck.
Come on.